So today we're actually going to make two different varieties of Pasta Primavera. The first one is really fast. It's one that I like to make as soon as I get home from the market, just to make a fast lunch. And it's also something that I will make, say if I've got some tomatoes that are getting a little overripe, I'll make this because it just takes 4 ingredients basically. We've got tomatoes, we've got fresh basil, we've got spring onions, or green onions as they're called, and of course garlic. What kind of pasta would it be if we didn't have garlic involved with it? It's something that you can easily decide how many portions you're going to make. It's basically 1 tomato per portion and 1 spring onion per portion, plus your basil and your garlic. And for this particular pasta, I'm going to be using egg noodles. I just happen to like the quickness of that. Plus, sometimes I can get homemade egg noodles at the farmer's market. Wasn't able to do that today, so I had to go down to my local grocery store. But nonetheless, if you can get some fresh pasta, that's even better for this portion. So we're going to start by, just the same as we did with the omelet, getting all of our ingredients prepped. And we're going to take our tomato, get it diced up. We're going to get our basil torn off and chopped. The garlic, I think we should talk a little bit about garlic. There's powdered garlics like garlic salt, which all it really does is add an unnecessary salt to your dish. There's powdered garlic, which in a pinch will work, but it can get kind of, lose its zip as you move along. Sometimes what I do is, if I don't have fresh garlic like I've got today, I do rely on the kind of garlic that comes in a jar like this. And this is already minced, it's peeled and minced, and it's in olive oil. So that's as close to fresh as you're going to get, and it lasts a long time in the fridge. This is a very big jar. If it makes you feel better, you can also buy very small jars, but I can go through a small jar of that pretty quickly. But today we have the fresh garlic. So that's going to be the best. And we'll move in over here just to break this open. This is the tricky part, is getting the cloves of garlic out. There we go. So the whole thing is called the bulb. Each individual piece is called a clove. And you can have a garlic press. Make sure if you buy a garlic press, it's nice and sturdy. But if you don't have a garlic press, there is things that you can do for that. But before we get to that, I should do some chopping of onions. That should be the first thing I do, is chopping onions. So I'm just going to use a little knife today, for this part anyway. Chop off the root end, and then take the outer layer of the green and just peel it back. And that's really all you have to do with the green onion. And again, just same deal, keeping my fingers out of the way, just the same as we did with the omelet. I'm going to chop this whole thing up right down to into the green. When you have a fresh green onion, often they'll have very long tops on them. And that's about as far as you go. The further down the top you go, the stronger the flavor is going to be. So that's step 1. Step 2 is we're going to take our tomato, and I will need a bigger knife for that, I think. Should have had that planned out. And in this case, this is a very ripe tomato. The top was starting to go just a little bit, so I'll just take that off to the side. And just the same as we had with our omelets. And Coco's coming to help me here, but she doesn't like vegetables very much, but she wants to be involved. And this is nice, just nice big chunks is all we need this into. There. Okay, so there's that part done. Then we've got this basil, which, so I'm just going to pick the leaves off. If you don't have fresh basil, that's okay. You can get freeze-dried basil, which works very well. That's probably the best alternative in the winter time, is to have the freeze-dried, and that acts as a similar volume to the fresh stuff as well. Okay, so there we go. So now we're going to swing over to our stove here. Probably the longest cooking time is going to be boiling the water. So we'll get that boiling. I'm going to take this small pan here, again the omelet pan, which is a very versatile pan, and put a little bit of olive oil in that. And turning it on helps. And I'm going to put that at medium-high heat, because this will be very quick. Just make sure the pan is properly coated. And then we'll take our green onions. And start those frying. All right. And while those are frying, we'll also talk a little bit about the cheese that's going to go into this. Parmesan cheese, of course, is traditionally what you're going to use. I don't have, it would, of course, would be best if I had a block of fresh Parmesan cheese and a grater. I don't have the right kind of grater for that. So you've got two alternatives. One is to go to the deli section and buy already shredded fresh Parmesan. And that works very well. Or there's the old standby dried shredded Parmesan, which you typically think of something that you sprinkle on top of your dish. For this particular fast one, this works just fine. And we'll use the other one in our bigger pasta. Now, that should be sizzling along nicely. We'll go over to our water here, which is very hot. Whoop. And because we're basically making one portion here. I'm going to get my egg noodles, which take 4 to 6 minutes to cook. You can see they're a little smaller noodle. And we're just going to put in maybe 2 handfuls. That's a plenty big portion for one person. And of course you want to be sure that you add a little bit of salt to all of your cooking water for pasta. If you don't add salt to it, it's going to be pretty bland tasting. And it's okay to add some extra salt, because you're just going to drain it off anyway. There's going to be just a minuscule amount that will actually end up with the noodles as you go. Okay, so there's our onions browning nicely. Now we're going to get to the garlic. And that one clove of garlic that I'd put into there, you'll notice I didn't bother to peel it, because when we squeeze it out here, and just use your muscles here, give it a good squeeze. Oh. And of course, just because I said that, it's not going to work. It crushes it out of the skin. Now, I know Jamie Oliver does this much better than I do. There. Take the skin off. Brown it the rest of the way, and just scrape that off. And one of the things that you want to be careful with your garlic is don't get that burnt, because that will give it a very bitter taste. If you've got your things too hot, turn it down a little bit, because you don't want burnt garlic bitterness. Then we quickly add in our tomatoes. And the basil. Okay. And really all we're doing here is we're cooking these tomatoes until they're warmed up well, and there's a lot of moisture that comes off of that, so sometimes if you just wait for that moisture to sizzle away a bit and let your basil wilt and to get the flavors in there. And then we're going to add some salt and pepper to that. Doesn't take very much salt. Pepper is going to be the key in that. And I didn't put the timer on for my noodles, but I'll give that a check. Probably about 3 minutes in here. Ooh, slippery little guys. Nope, not done yet. Give it another 3 minutes there while this simmers away. Too bad you can't smell on camera because this smells fabulous. And that's one thing as a cook, to be very aware of using all your senses. It's the appearance of the food, it's the smell of the food, it's the flavors, and even the sounds that it's making, because sometimes you'll have your back turned on something, but you can just hear the sizzle or that something is drying out. So paying attention to all of your senses while you're cooking is really important. You know, even things like if you have to step away from the stove for a little bit to know when something smells like it's starting to cook. And if you're not sure of that kind of stuff, then don't be stepping away from your stove, because you'll want to pay attention to these things. So there we can see our tomatoes are softening, and there's a little less moisture in the pan. That's all steamed off. And test those noodles again. These are very hot. Hot, 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 hot. Ooh, very hot. Oh, that's better. Okay. So we can turn off the noodles, turn down the sauce, and we have a colander here. Colanders have a solid metal side to them versus a sieve, which is more of a finer mesh. Colanders are great for something like this because it's very sturdy. So when we pour it into the sink, that actually we can just set it right down into the sink. Pour things straight into it. We can come on over here. There we go. Now, some kinds of sauces that are a little drier, you would have saved some of that, that water in a cup to add back to the sauce if you felt you needed that extra bit. Noodles into the bowl. Pour the topping on top of it. And a nice sprinkle of cheese. Again, the cheese is optional, but I think it adds a lot to it. Take our little tongs. You could use this with a fork or whatever. Just toss it all up. And there you have a fast and fabulous lunch ready to go with lots of fresh vegetables. So that's probably the easiest one of the Pasta Primaveras, and I just love this particular one for a fast lunch if I'm just hungry in a moment. Okay, so now we're ready to go on to a little bit more complicated version of Pasta Primavera. There we go. Bon appetit. And thank you for joining us again today at Hilltop Stovetop. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make Pasta Primavera. If you did like today's show, please remember to like and subscribe. And also, if you look in the down below, you will see links to some of the Eganville areas that I have been talking about. But don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss our next episode, which is all about how to roast your turkey, because it is Thanksgiving and Christmas will be upon us before you know it. And that's a great skill to have, is cooking a beautiful roasted turkey. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.